In this world, everyone is given a planet to become a planet lord, and I clearly possess a 3S class mechanical planet capable of creating 1,000,000 mechs before their death, would store things into space and then have a card maker create a space card for that space, with a set condition for activation. It's not certain. It could be something from the Academy. If the Academy had such things, it wouldn't be called the Qingting Academy. After coming out, many students had a look of relief. After all, since Hoshino's war fortress appeared in that space, most of the sky in that area had been covered. The oppressive feeling of the giant structure was not easy to bear. At this moment, Zhu Guangfu also arrived at the Academy Square. He saw Director Wang and Director Shui standing there. What's going on? Is he still alive? Zhu Guangfu gritted his teeth. If it weren't for the arrival of those family members, he would have exploded long ago. Snow Director also broke out in a cold sweat. Wang Director on the side was no better. He's still alive. We are no match for him. The voice was very low. Many family members heard it. After glancing over here, they didn't continue to pay attention. Once you hear about this kind of thing, you hear about it. It would be too foolish to ask directly. However, this also made many family members extremely curious. Shang Fan's eyes showed some curiosity. It seems that a genius-level figure has emerged in this academy. I'll ask my cousin later. How is that possible? Both of you are intermediate lords, and you are both 5-star intermediate lords. How could you not defeat a low-level lord? Don't tell me you were defeated by his mecha. With your strength, how could you not overpower that mecha? Zhu Guangfu's spittle flew onto the faces of the two directors. These two directors naturally didn't dare to say a word. How did you lose? It's impossible. You haven't even fought yet, and you both came out directly? Wait, where is he? Zhu Guangfu suddenly realized something was wrong. All the students in the entire square came out, but the figure of Xingye was nowhere to be seen. Could it be that he used something to teleport all of you away? What's going on? At this moment, Zhu Guangfu was actually very anxious, because if Xingye is not dead, it means that he will have to figure out a way to get 2 stable cards issued by the Academy himself. But the problem is that this stable card is not easy to come by. There is simply no such thing on the market. It can only be found at auctions and in some black markets. Those who manage to get their hands on these cards, regardless of the amount of star source they have to pay, will attract a lot of attention. And he doesn't even know when he offended the Hu family. With the intelligence systems of these families in Nantian City, if he wants to buy a stable card, the news will definitely reach their ears. They might even all know, but they just haven't openly confronted him in the dean's office. After all, they are all looking to negotiate for benefits, not start a war. Dean. Director Wang's expression was complicated. What is it? You can speak freely. That kid summoned a war fortress using a mecha, large enough to cover more than half of the area of that environmental card, and it's equipped with star-destroying weapons. When this was revealed, not only did Zhu Guangfu widen his eyes, but many members of the families also perked up, their mouths slowly opening wide enough to fit a duck egg. Initially, they were somewhat skeptical, but many students were also saying that Xingye summoned a floating fortress in the sky using a mecha. With so many people talking about it, it was obviously not a fabricated story. Shang Tianhao calmly led his men out. Brother, where are we going? First, let's return to the family, then we'll form a team outside and explore together. Exploration. Some environmental cards have been explored many times, and there isn't much left inside. But there's always a chance that some things remain undiscovered. Card holders would rent out these environmental cards for exploration. This is commonly known as exploration. Typically, newly graduated sporadic junior lords from the academy start this way. If they have the support of a family, the family might provide an environmental card. Although these cards are precious, they can still be purchased as long as one has the money. Shang Tianhao suddenly stopped in his tracks. A young man, accompanied by what seemed like a bodyguard, stood in front of him. Hey, who are you? Why are you blocking our way? Shang Tianhao's companion immediately spoke up. Shang Fan smiled and looked at him with more curiosity in his eyes. He felt that his cousin seemed to have changed a lot, no longer the same fool as before. A person truly intent on doing business would have a completely different demeanor. Well, let me introduce myself. I am Shang Fan, the current heir of the Shang family, a mid-level lord of the 7 stars. Your turn. Shang Fan's eyes held a hint of teasing. The companion standing beside Shang Tianhao was taken aback. He had never met Shang Fan, but he had heard of him. The current heir of the Shang family, highly skilled, extremely composed in his actions, and most importantly, almost everyone in the family supported Shang Fan. Even Shang Tianhao had admired Shang Fan before. Cousin, why did you come? Technically, I shouldn't need you to come in person. Surprised? I'm just curious about how Zhu Guangfu managed to stabilize that environmental card. It seems he did use a stable card, he's quite bold. Shang Fan's eyes flashed with a hint of mockery. He could see through people like Zhu Guangfu at a glance and had no interest in wasting words. Originally, he had planned to get some resources from Zhu Guangfu and leave. But his cousin had also come out, so he decided to take a look. He had a deep affection for his family members, whether they were elders or juniors. His cousin had caused him some headaches before, but now, he seemed different. That Zhu Guangfu doesn't need to be concerned about. In another 2 or 3 months, there will be some movements from above. At that time, a group of people will come from above. The last time there was movement from above was 4 years ago. Let's not talk about him. I am now very curious about 2 things. 1, that Xingye, and 2, you seem to have changed in a way that doesn't resemble my cousin. Shang Fan's eyes showed a hint of caution. Some lords might use tricks like soul possession. Shang Tianhao chuckled self-deprecatingly. Cousin, I am still me, just that today I have learned a lesson from someone. As for Xingye, when I go back, I will tell you everything I know about him. Okay. The Shang family passed by simply. Other families at this moment were no longer thinking about what they could get from Zhu Guangfu. They were more interested in understanding this person Xingye. Grandpa, when did you arrive? Hu Tianhe held Hu Yong'an's arm with one hand, but his eyes kept glancing at Zhang Yunxiao not far away. She noticed that her good friend's complexion seemed off. It was obvious that her face had turned pale from anger. What could be the matter? Hu Tianhe was puzzled. Tianhe, many times we don't interfere with you, but regarding Zhang Yunxiao, I hope you don't get involved. If you insist on getting involved, the final outcome, our Hu family cannot bear. Hu Yong'an placed his hand on Hu Tianhe's head and rubbed it. Hu Tianhe's eyes narrowed. How could that be? Judging by the strength of their family. Yes, it's the family. When it came to this point, Hu Tianhe suddenly understood. Low-level 8-star regeneration resource, ice-cold riverbed. Introduction. This riverbed is located under the glacier and gives birth to ice-cold water foam at intervals. Ice-cold water foam, low-level 3-star material. Introduction. After using it on troops, there is a certain chance that the troops can comprehend the ability of the ice-cold attribute. After harvesting numerous materials, Xingye never expected to find such a core regeneration resource in this low-level environment card. Great, I didn't expect to find such a good thing in this environment card, under the glacier? Most people may not be able to find it. In that case, exploring the environment card in the future, I am actually better off doing it alone. Xingye thought carefully again. If he went out now and tried to find another environment card, it wouldn't be so easy. Unexplored environment cards are priced very high. The best way is to find a family team in the Lord's Association. Let's count these things first. Most of the resources in my Lord's planet have been consumed to create the Black Warrior mech. I don't know if I can make use of these many materials. It's best to have some that I can use, otherwise, my extensive collection of materials will attract attention from many people. For Xingye, summoning his base fortress in the war was largely to dispel any thoughts about his Black Warrior mech. If there was only one Black Warrior mech, the Academy would definitely have ill intentions. He didn't believe that Zhu Guangfu would let it go so easily. Not to mention that he had taken all the resources from the entire environment card. 2 stabilizing cards had been used, and Xingye was well aware of the preciousness of these stabilizing cards. Those cards were something that could only be seen in dreams. The stabilizing card used by Zhu Guangfu was definitely issued by the Empire. Zhu Guangfu will definitely try to patch up these 2 loopholes. Letting it go like this is not very likely. All materials above 2 stars have been collected. Normal material collection, 78,416 2-star cold ice attribute materials, 4,602 3-star cold ice attribute materials, 1,004 4-star cold ice materials, and 246 6-star cold ice materials. Special material collection, low-grade 8-star regenerative energy, cold ice riverbed. Collecting treasures, cold ice heart, low-grade 2-star, broken cold ice crown, low-grade 4-star, frozen twin wings, low-grade 2-star. Wow! The pile of prompts from the heavenly net immediately brought Hoshino back to his senses. So many materials? And treasures too? Hoshino took a closer look at the treasures, a total of 20 pieces. These treasures can be used by the Lord himself, as well as on the soldiers in the territory. In Hoshino's territory, there is only one soldier, the Black Warrior mech. Technically, it can be considered a soldier. It can be wirelessly controlled by the heavenly net. With so many treasures, let's equip a few for my Black Warrior mech. Heavenly Net, see which treasures can be fused with the Black Warrior mech's equipment. When preparing treasures for soldiers, compatibility between the soldier and the treasure is a prerequisite. For example, if a treasure is a sharp long sword that can increase the sharpness of all soldiers' weapons by 10%, then the compatibility of this treasure is very good and can be used for most soldiers. If the treasure is a holy book, it may not be suitable for undead soldiers. After scanning by the heavenly net, none of these materials or treasures can be used for the Black Warrior mech. The material composition of the Black Warrior mech is 30% dark attribute, 30% thunder attribute, 30% fire attribute, and 10% biological attribute. There are two options. Option 1, use all materials to create another ice attribute mech, which will be stronger than the Black Warrior. Option 2, use all materials to create a large number of small mech soldiers. Hoshino did not continue to look at the attributes of the Black Warrior mech. When he saw that 30% of the attributes were dark, he understood. How could these cold ice attribute materials be compatible with the Black Warrior mech? Let's go with option 1 directly. I almost forgot for a moment. These materials are all ice attributes, so naturally, my Black Warrior mech is not highly compatible with them. Oh, when making the ice attribute mech, remember to use all the materials, including the cold ice riverbed. Heavenly net. Can you do it? The cold ice riverbed belongs to low-grade 8-star energy. This type of energy can continuously generate another type of resource, equivalent to a high-grade material among low-grade materials. His War Fortress base is essentially a low-grade 0-star base. Although its combat power is much higher than that of a mid-level Lord's base, it is still a low-grade 0-star base. Most of the resources on the Lord's planet were between low-grade 0-star and 3-star. The Heavenly Net's ability to collect all materials to create the Black Warrior mech is also attributed to its creator talent. Although the cold ice riverbed can be used as a material, the current territory's grade is too low. There is a certain chance that adding this material will cause the mech manufacturing to fail. Please choose carefully, my lord. Then let's leave the cold ice riverbed for now. Find a place for it on the Lord's planet. I entrust all the territory's construction and planning to you. At this moment, Hoshino sat on the shoulder of the Black Warrior mech, leaning casually. Finally, he could breathe a sigh of relief. When the new mech is manufactured, his combat power will increase significantly. By then, he will directly control the new mech, while the Heavenly Net can control the Black Warrior mech. Even during battles, the Heavenly Net can provide a certain level of assistance while controlling the Black Warrior mech. Well, the promotion of the territory should also be put on the agenda. Hoshino glanced around. He found that everywhere he looked, there were just ordinary ice blocks. Even the pile of corpses left by the monsters he had killed on the ground had disappeared. They had been transported back to the territory to be burned as carbon, providing a large amount of energy for the entire base. The reason for not taking any 1-star materials was that 1-star materials were not much different from ordinary wood and stones in reality. If you had to say, one piece of 1-star wooden material was equivalent to 3 or 4 pieces of ordinary wood. It was time to go. Hoshino watched as the temporary beacon tower he had just built was dismantled by the Skynet. With a thought, he left the space of this environmental card. After a feeling of shaking earth and trembling sky, he had returned to the school playground. There were still many people in the playground at this moment, especially an old man with a strange smile on his face, his muscles bulging one after another. Hoshino felt that this old man was extremely fierce, and a punch from him could probably punch a hole in the Black Warrior mech. In this world, when an old man walked with a strong and confident stride, it not only represented the person's physical health but also the strength of their territory. Most territories became stronger as they developed. However, the next words from the old man left Hoshino somewhat dumbfounded. Kid, do you want to become my son-in-law in the tiger family? The sudden words from the old man left Hoshino in a state of confusion.